So we have shadows intersecting, that proves it. We have the logic that you can't have 1,000 times greater space-traveling technology in 1969 than today, which proves it. We have the classified footage that you saw yourself, that NBC News agrees, proves they didn't go to the moon. And then in my book, for the very first time, we have the deathbed confession of Cyrus Eugene Akers, who was the chief of security at Cannon Air Force Base. And as he's dying, he first confesses, fearing the judgment of God, that he wants to get off his chest that he killed somebody.
Yeah.
His son asks him why. He says, well, I killed a coworker at Cannon Air Force Base, which his son confirms right across the street from where they lived. His father was the chief of security there. And he says he killed somebody to cover up the moon landing fraud because they were going to squeal about it, which was built a fake lunar set and a hangar there. President Johnson gave him a list of 15 VIPs who are allowed in. Armstrong is on the list, Buzz Aldrin's on the list, and Eugene Krantz and other people who are alive today are on the list. And he saved it as a souvenir. We published it in the book. And when I'm confirming this information with his son, who lived in Florida, he's visited by CIA agents who threatened to kill him and his family if he ever talks to me again about his father's participation in the moon landing fraud. The FBI was involved, the White House was involved, and the U.S. Senate Intelligence Committee was involved 2 years ago investigating this and the whistleblower protection for this man's son. All that's in the book for the very first time, including my interview with the family of the man who was going to be the first man to walk on the moon, who his relatives told me was murdered by the CIA for not participating in fraud at NASA during the Apollo program.
Wow.
So this is very real. It's not a conspiracy theory. And what does that mean? It means our government is so corrupt beyond understanding. And unlike the tragedy of JFK or 9/11, all those people are dead. It's just a matter of changing who did it and why. This is more difficult, Mike, because it's a positive lie. You see,
right.
People are naively defending it. I did Glenn Beck's show, and I believe the guy's sincere, but he's like, I know America has gotten bad, but at least we went to the moon. And like, O.J. Simpson's defense team, all these scientists are trying to explain away that shadows intersect, that they're faking being halfway to the moon, that you can't have greater technology in the past. They just don't want to admit they're wrong. They don't want to give up the God of science, which is putting a man on the moon. And it just came out in November that they had this big AI conference in Moscow, and they had Google's neural network, multiple AIs hooked up together.
Right.
One team had it write a symphony, another one had it write a novel, and one of them tested its deep fake detection program, which has never been wrong. You feed it a video of Biden or Trump, it'll tell you in 1 second whether it's real or not. So they fed it pictures from the lunar service from the 2014 Chinese unmanned probes, and it said they're real. Then it fed it pictures of Apollo, and it said they're all fake for multiple reasons.
Wow.
So either Google's AI, the 10-year billion-dollar investment is a piece of junk,
wrong, yeah.
or they fake going to the moon.